Hello and welcome. Okay, I've got the canvas in a more portrait orientation today, so I'm going to have to keep, you might have to remind me to move it later so you can see the bottom and start there. And you've probably guessed already, I'm aiming for something sunsetty. Sunset colours. I really love sunset colours. This that I'm starting with is a mix of titanium white, alizarin crimson, cadmium red and cadmium yellow. I'm just going to darken it as we move out. More alizarin crimson. Some more alizarin crimson, and just into the ultramarine, and just smack the camera with the paintbrush, because why not? And my intention today is to take my time and paint a bit slower, because in the last few videos I've noticed I have seemed to be rushing. I think it's because I started talking on the videos. I'm very self-conscious and I just want to get it over with. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that way about talking on videos. I'm trying to not put too much paint down on the canvas this time. That last one with the mountains, I had a right mud slick on there. So I'll try not to do that today. And I do say try, because, you know, things don't always work out, do they? Bashing about on canvas a bit though. On easel, I should say. Yeah, you can barely see that blue at the top there, but I'm going to put some clouds in. It'll mix with the colour we use for the clouds. Oh, look at me, getting it all over myself already. I tell you, some people should not be allowed to use with a paintbrush. Okay, let's give that a squelch. Oh, I haven't ripped off any paper towels. Just give me a second. You're probably going to hear these tearing. I'm not organised this morning. Yeah, I don't generally paint this early in the day, but I had to get it done before everybody started waking up and moving around. And I forgot to put my earphones in and my music today. So the good news is, you will not be subjected to my awful singing. Bad news is, I'm going to be even more self-conscious because I've got nothing to distract me. So I have a little more of a sunspot. Just there. Okay, move that off. Oh, that was just pure cadmium yellow that I had in that spot. Now, my poor old makeup brush is getting a bit tatty and I think I'm ready for a new one. But we'll have a go with it today. If it doesn't work, we'll use the other one. Okay. I'm thinking for my next video, rather than standing here painting, I'm going to share some of the best of Buzz's bloopers, possibly. But that will be, each of the bloopers has obviously happened during a painting, so it will include clips of the painting where the bloopers have occurred, where Buzz has completely misinterpreted anything I'm saying, which he does on an alarmingly regular basis. I will hunt down the funniest ones and share them. Oh, that looks very bright through the camera. It doesn't look anywhere near that bright on the canvas. That's cool. Right. I thought I was really clever getting all organised this morning. I've got all my brushes laid out where I don't have to lean across the canvas to get to them. I've got all my paints out in case I run out. I've got my palette cleaned and paint on it. And my camera set up. And I forgot to put my earphones in. Guess that's what happens when you think you're being clever, isn't it? I don't like that brush for clouds, that's too... It's only a small filbert and it's a bit too stiff. It doesn't give me much room to play. So we'll switch to... Oh, which one? I'm looking for it and I can't find it. So much for being organised there. I'll use this round brush instead. It's not bigger in the bristles than the other, but it's a bit longer, so it gives me a bit more play. I'll wipe it off in between so we don't pick up too much of this colour. Too much colour. I'm going to have to put some more white out already. I should have done that, shouldn't I? Didn't think that one all the way through. Right, just bear with me while I put some more white out. I can find it. There it is. There we go. That should be enough to see us through this painting. I want a nice purple for these clouds here, because I don't want green. Made that mistake before, it don't look good in your painting. Green sky. Oh, it's very hot. It's only 8:20 and I'm already too hot. Bank holiday weekend and we're getting a heat wave. That's a bit of burnt umber that I've just added to the mix. Up to that, I've just been using the same colours I used for the sky. I'm aiming for more stringy clouds today, as you can tell. Whether they end up that way or not, we'll see when we're done. Give that a good clean. There we go. I'll brush back in the right place so I know where it is. I blend in. This blender brush is too big, so let's... let's have a go at blending with this one. See how that works. It's just a little, well, I'm saying little, it's big for this canvas, but just a flat brush. Now, I'm getting the colours the right way around today, because I've got the sunset down here. I'm blending the top of the cloud so we get the highlight at the bottom. Not over keen on this brush for blending. It's not the best. I mean, it's doing the job, but it's not. No, I don't like that. Rub that off and use a different brush. Let's try this one. This is the noisy brush. It's sprayed too much now. Oh, I'm struggling with these brushes today. You know what, I'm going to blend with this flipper that I did the clouds with. I think I actually prefer that. It's giving me a nice soft blend. If that canvas camera jerks, it's because I forgot that I've got it plugged in, because the battery's low, and I've cut the wires and going to the palette. I'm trying to work around it and trying to remember, but vibro brain. There's a fair chance that at some point I'm just going to say, whoops, no, that wire by there a second ago. And I noticed this morning I had a notification on my phone to say I've got a new subscriber, so welcome to that new subscriber. I don't know your name, it didn't tell me your name, but welcome and thank you for subscribing. I'll just go with something there, it looks just, everything seems to be, how's that look? Strange. Okay, what we're going to do now, use a brand new brush, just to, well, how many different brushes have we used on these clouds, just because I wasn't happy with the ones I was trying. Soften everything in. You know, it looks a bit bright, but I do think I like it. I'm easily pleased. If it looks like something, I'm easily pleased. Right, let's have a good think. What are we going to do? I think I was all mountained out last week, so I don't think I'm going to do that. But it does look like we have a bit of a hilly line there where I've finished the sky, so we'll go with it. I don't think I want to put I don't want to put a lot of depth in this one. I want it to be a pretty close-up thing, maybe. Or maybe not, we'll see. Anyway, let's get this flat brush back out. We'll add a little sap green to that. A little blue. A hint of yellow ochre. See that? Oh, blue. I'm off again. Wobble gob gets me every time. Right. It's a bit bright, but I'm sure we can do something about that. Or maybe it's only looking bright because it's against the black of the canvas. Yeah. Oh, this is a noisy brush as well, isn't it? Very noisy brush. Seems to be a recurring thing with my brushes, they just like making a noise. That's because we're using bristle brushes for the most part. I do have synthetics, but the bristles are better for oil paints. That's what they're better for. Oh boy, it's going to be one of them. A bit more sap green, a bit more yellow ochre, and a hint of blue. That's ultramarine, the blue. Regulars will know that ultramarine is my blue of choice for landscapes. A little darker there, and a little darker there, because we're already thinking about this sunspot. I've made it too dark there, but we can go over that. Yeah, we're thinking about that sunspot, and it is going to be lighter here. Oh dear, that wasn't supposed to happen. The whole grew. How's that look? Different. Right, I want to just dab some ultramarine into that and just... Ooh. I've got far too much yellow on top of that canvas, so I'm going to end up with some really hacky fingers. Oh, I quite like this. This is it's done something. I can't say it's doing what I wanted because I didn't actually start with the plan. I didn't know what I was going to do, but it's doing something that I like. So we'll take that for the win. Add a touch more yellow to this, just for right here. Oh yeah. Oh, we've got a very definite sunspot there, don't we? So let it widen out as it goes along. Otherwise we're going to end up with far too dark a painting. Right. Now that we've done that, we need to decide what else we're going to do. I'm going to add some burnt umber to this mix. I'm using the wrong brush. Bugger. Oh well, wash it out, get the right brush. I wonder what our chances are of us getting things right this week. Who knows? But the only thing we can predict about the Buzz app is that it's going to get things wrong. Okay, so I've got both yellows, burnt umber and ultramarine. I'd say both yellows. I've got cadmium yellow and yellow ochre. No lemon yellow yet. We might get to lemon yellow later. I just want to... Does that shorten that? That needs to be a little more green, I think, and possibly a touch darker. So that's that green and blue tumble I've just added there. Just stick in the trees. And yes, they are dark, but we can have highlights and get me H in one place. Which is quite a feat for somebody from Yorkshire who don't usually bother with H's at all. If I weren't trying to make myself legible or understandable, because we're not reading. If I weren't trying to make myself clear, I'd be dropping the H's like I usually do. I'd just be adding highlights. Well, that bus programme really does seem to struggle greatly with the Yorkshire accent. He's not a fan. He never knows what I'm saying. So let's leave a gap in those trees. Just because a line of trees going straight across would be bold. Let's just keep adding colour and playing. Trying to do something a little different. I mean, when you're constantly painting landscapes, it's not easy to come up with something different for each painting. But it is something that you need to do, or I need to do, or you need to do if you're painting. Where's my palette camera gone? Why has that done that again? It was recording. Why did it stop? Oh, for heaven's sakes. That particular camera has been a bit of a bugger just lately. I think it's got monk on because it used to be the canvas camera and it's been demoted. But if I didn't have tech issues on every single video, it just wouldn't be my channel, would it? Because we do have tech issues on every single video. Oh, can you see that? I forgot, didn't I? I knew I would. Adding a little alizarin crimson to this, because we need to start getting darker as we come down. Okay, I suppose we have to fill some of those gaps in with some grass, don't we, before we get ourselves in else. So for that, let's add some more yellow ochre to this. Into the sand green. And into the lemon yellow. No, that wasn't lemon yellow, that was cadmium yellow. Just bring this down on the slope. Let's not have flat lands, let's have some interest to it. I should have done this before I did those trees. I'm going to have to do my trees again. Oh, silly woman. How's that look? Oh, it's very bright on that edge. I need to darken that edge where it's in shadow. There, darken that. Is that dark enough? Not yet. Add a bit of the blue. What's this? because I'm doing sunset colours, I don't want to have a lot of gold in it. So I'm going to be using the yellow ochre quite a bit. So it does give you a nice golden glow. Nearly went too bright for the other side then. Got cameras and wires and everything all over the place. Do you know, the house is actually quiet. The husband's gone out. Everybody else is still asleep. There's not a lot of noise from outside for a change. And I realised that it was my slippers on the floorboards. Because we don't have carpet in the bedroom, we have floorboards, wood floor. And my slipper, a lot of the swishing noises you heard before were actually my slippers on the boards. So I've got my slippers off. And because my feet were sticking to the boards, I've had to put a pair of sport socks on, so I look vaguely ridiculous today. But we don't care, do we? If we've got a video done, it's all good. Add a bit of this lighter colour phrase up. We are going to have to do them. Well, maybe we won't have to redo the trees, because we've got to put highlights and things on them anyway, so. I need some more of that light. So, right here. On this here hill. How's that look? It's not bad for blocking in. Here we've got shadow from trees and a little darker. I want to really concentrate on where my light's sitting today because I have been messing that up a bit. Everybody's been really kind. I haven't had any messages saying you've got your light in one place. But I do know that I have been getting highlights and shadows a little off in the wrong places and stuff, so. See, this is all very green to start with, but I'm going to add some colour to it. I don't like burnt umber to that to darken it. An ultramarine. It's getting there. Slowly but surely, as they say. Getting there. Let's have a little more grass here. Bring that down. Oh, somebody's moving around downstairs. Somebody's awake. Shall we put some water in this one? We didn't have water in the last one, did we? I think maybe I'd like to put some water in this one. But but I didn't put any linseed oil on the canvas, so I'm just going to add a little linseed oil. Just here, I think I'm going to put some water, just because it makes the, reflections, that's them. I was going to call them shadows. They're not shadows, they're reflections. It makes reflections just that bit easier if the linseed oil's on the canvas. I usually put it in the sky, but I haven't done it in the last couple. Right, let's have a nice light colour, just to mix with what's here. Do you know what, I was at my mum and dad's yesterday, and my dad was saying that they'd watched one of my videos and he was complaining that I put a great big tree on the side of it, so I told him that just for him, on the next one, I'd put a great big tree down the middle. So when we've got all this done, I'm going to stick a great big tree straight across there, or straight across there. It'll have to go that way because we've got water here. But yeah, if you're watching that, that's just for you. See, my parents are big fans of a very famous painter, Mr. Ross. They both like his programme and his style of painting and his happy little everything. So, just for my dad, we're going to have a bravery test and stick a tree that way. As a polite nod to a very talented man. This easel's horrible for getting to the bottom of your canvas, but you just turn the brush over and do it that way. Right, I just want to dab around and mix this lot up so it's not all solid colour. Yes, I am deliberately mixing wood on the canvas. That a little further out. Let's have a little hedge under there, just because we can. Right, we've done blocking in. What I'm going to do, so we don't mix wood, I'm going to grab this blue roll, tear a strip off, and later I'm going to have to tear 2 strips off of it. Just lay it on the canvas. It will soak up some of the oil without taking away the colour. And while that does its thing, I'm going to go and have a coffee, and I shall see you shortly. Okay, I've had my coffee, so now we'll take these off and you can see how it's taken oil out of that paint. So we shouldn't have too much mud mixing now. Unless of course it's intentional. So I've got the same flat brush. Now I want to add cadmium yellow and yellow ochre. A little more cadmium yellow and a little of this dark sunspot here. Just want to give it a little more. Put them on top of the canvas to stop it wobbling. And the paint's gone a little too deep into the bristles there, so it's not actually doing anything, it's just tap it onto ends. That's better. It's like that trail away to nothing there. And there. Right here, mix with what's already here. Seem to have lost our trees. We'll put them back in, it's not a big deal. How's that look? Oh, like that. I want a little bit more of the dark. For this bit here. A little more clever oak. More of the dark. That's it. I'm quite liking this. A little more lemon yellow. No, cadmium yellow. We haven't even touched the lemon yellow yet, so I don't know why I'm saying it. I'll add a bit of salt green to that. Get it out of the brush. Tap it into the ends. I don't want this to be quite so right, but it just needs to be right. Oh, I am starting to like the look of this. I think I will add some lemon yellow now, seeing as I keep saying it. So we've got something a little different at the front here. This headroom's growing. Oh boy. Yeah, I like that. And before I go any further, I need to grab this and just up onto the edge, hold it in place. Doesn't want to stay on the edge. I just want to add some reflections into this water before we get any further. Those trees are not reflecting now, oh well, that's because it's sucked all the oil out of them, so I'll have to do that again once I put the trees back in. Excuse me. God, it's so hot in this room. I'm not even at the back of the house where the sun is, I'm at the front of the house, which is supposed to be in shade. It doesn't feel particularly shaded right now. So I'm adding some ultramarine. Let's throw some lemon yellow in these feedy things. I'm just putting shadows in trees for now, and then I'll blend it in with some of that grass for, well, shadows. A little sap green, so they're not, I don't want the same colours all the time. There's some trees back in here. I think I might add some autumn colours to the trees, just so it's not all like red and green. That's not what I want. I want something that's a little more varied. Otherwise it's just going to look like we've cut it in half. These trees are a little bigger. Of course they're a little closer. Some green, some more lemon yellow, some more cadmium yellow, lemon yellow, yellow ochre. Tap it into that brush. Stick some trees up here. Let them mingle with those trees a bit. And maybe with those trees a little bit. Oh, I've just completely lost that row of trees, haven't I? Obviously went too light with that. Try again. I also lost that gap that I was planning on leaving in those trees. Oh well, we can't have everything, can we? Okay, so that was more ultramarine and sap green, just thrown in with that. Again, we'll just throwing trees in, using the usual dab. Oh, that's definitely brought our trees back. And now we want this row of trees along the water edge. Give this a rinse. So I'm not going to put anything in this bottom corner just yet other than the grass, because, as I've already mentioned, I'm planning on putting my dad's big tree there. Both cameras still going. Here, it's a bonus for today. See, that is now pulling down. I can't really see it because of the black, but it will become more obvious when we define the water at the end. Might be slightly green water. We're going to have to put some of those sky colours in. Oh, I never thought of that. We weren't having water when I did the sky. Stick a little highlight. Better add some of this red to that, haven't we? We've got orange in the sky, so this water's not going to be great because I wasn't anticipating it at the beginning, so we're winging it as always. Winging it is what we do, isn't it? know that looks shocking at the moment, but it's just letting me know where my water's going. We can faff about with it later. Try that brush off. Right, now I don't want that brush, I want a different brush, obviously. I'll go with this tatty brush. So now I want to put some autumn colours on some of these trees. So, right at the back there. Oh no, that's the wrong colour for the back, you dizzy woman. This might be a bit bright. Only want me to find out. I mean, this was on spray, splayed. That's better. I don't like that. Get off. These trees, right in the way of the sunspot, are going to be catching that bit more light than the others. How's that look? I think they're too light, especially on that side, so you should have more shadow, less light. Now I need something to blend it all. It's not working, but I'm carrying on anyway, because I'm having fun. And I haven't finished yet, so you know, it might look better eventually. It might not, but it might. I'm just playing with autumn colours now. I'm not really caring. Well, I am caring. Ooh dear, what's that for? There we go. Sorry, I do apologise, that was not supposed to happen. With a bit of luck, it'll start looking something like eventually. Yeah, I'm sure I said I wasn't putting much distance in this one, but I seem to have got a reasonable amount of distance in this one. Put some dark back in some of this. did get a bit too light, didn't it? Well, it looks like something. Don't ask me what. Let's put some more of this lemon yellow in this. And I think I'll touch of cadmium red. And alizarin crimson. Just on that same dirty brush, so it's still got the yellow in it. Just to add some colour down here. Maybe a bit more of that. Let's get in there. Do I sound convinced? Oh, my back is really starting to ache. Unfortunately, I can't sit down to paint in here because there just isn't. The only available space has my brushes on it, and I don't sit on them. Not particularly. I may have lost some of the highlights of the grass we have to put back in. Oh, excuse me, I haven't taken antihistamines yet, and I can feel my nose starting. I'll dispose of that tissue and start with a fresh one. Right, what am I doing? I'm putting some highlights back in the grass. And I'm throwing the brush away. Try again. I'll say a bit of all three yellows. And just a hint of this. That's it. And now put some shadows across here, and then up into some of this, especially under the trees. And I'm starting to like it. Okay, I think it's time we did something with this water. The first thing to do is knock the palette off the easel apparently. The first thing to do is knock some of this brightness back that I've got in there. Oh, will you behave? Talking to inanimate objects is optional and preserve sanity. That water looks awful. Oh dear. It'll be fine. Someday rule, however it turns out, is perfect. That's a rule I have with a friend of mine who comes on Sundays. Sometimes we paint, sometimes we do wood carving, sometimes we do pyrography, sometimes we just sit and watch YouTube videos. But on those days when we're doing the art stuff, we have a rule. Doesn't matter how it turns out, because however it turns out is perfect. There's no competition for anybody to be better than anybody else. We just have fun playing. And it is fun, a lot of fun. I want to use this small palette knife. Yes, we're attempting the palette knife waterline again. Last time we tried this, it was an unmitigated disaster. Actually, there's another one. That is the oil go. There we go. Right, are we ready to see if it works this time? I got my slice anyway. Way much of a slice, but we got paint on it. Or did it? Maybe not. Paint. Get back on there. My other table palette is much better for getting the edge of the canvas on the lip. But it's also much noisier. Now this one's noisy enough. Okay, we'll quit while we're behind on that. And I think we'll use, where is it? I've got this tiny little flat brush. And I'm just going to use it to soften these just a little. They're still there, but they're not quite so bright. Well, that's far too bright, isn't it, that one? I don't think I haven't actually got any colour under that for it to mix with, have I? Just add a bit of... Yeah, that's very blue, but... bear with me. Now that it's there, I can... She says. Who's she kidding? She hasn't got a clue. Give me some of that wisdom, thank you. Didn't think you were going to give me any. Got me right old mess of palette today, haven't I? Right, now I want to just do a little. I want to attempt something that I've not done before. Probably not the best idea, but I just want to put some movement in the water. Now that I like. Note the tone of surprise. I'm leaving that as it is because I like it. Just and a little of that back in there. Actually, we want that quite bright there, don't we? That's right under the sunspot. I'm liking. I've lost my water line completely. I don't know if I'm brave enough to put it back in. Guess we'll have to try, won't we? I don't know where that red just came from. Okay. Let's pretend we're brave and have another go at this. Where are you? We've got some paint on it. Let's see if it works. Well, blow me down with a feather. I'm leaving it at that, so I'm not messing with that at all. That's about as close as to success as I've ever got with that trick. Okay, now, remember what I said earlier about my dad complaining about me putting a tree in? It's time to clear a gap. But never mind clearing the gap. Got all those lovely colours. Let's add some umber, some blue, some crimson, more blue. May as well have some of that sap green as well. That's very red. More blue, more ultramarine. Right, Dad, if you're watching, I hope you're ready for this, because I'm not. This may be a bravery test too far. Add a bit of oil to that. Nice dark colour. Right, what to end up with? There's too much paint on that. To end right there, so we'll start. You ready, Dad? Whew. How's that? I can hear him screaming now. No, don't do it. I'm going to see just how far it's going. Sorry, Dad, but you know, I have to do it. It's just one of them things. I think I'll not use that brush for the rest of it. We shall use a smaller fill bit so we've got a little more control over what we're doing. I'll just bash that camera again. And we need that to join there. Oh, do you know, that camera is so in my way today. I don't know how, because it's in the same place it's always been. Well, not always, because it used to be in Caravan. But you know what I mean. Same place it's been since we've been in the bedroom. Oh, I don't know if you heard that, but that was my hip cracking. Oh, that stung a bit. Okay, I think I'm done with that. Now I need a liner brush. So let's put some thinner in that so it works on liner brush. Now let's put some bristles. I've got all those cards in scan, I'm going to cover them all now. Sorry, Dad, but you know. Oh, I do miss my music today. I never thought I should have taken the opportunity to ring out for the coffee to put my earphones in and start the playlist going, but yeah, it never even occurred to me. I'm going to have to start. I'm going to sit down and write myself a checklist of everything I have to do before I start painting. Because I always manage to forget something before I start. If I give myself a checklist, then just maybe the next time I paint, I'll be organised. Wouldn't that be a shock to the system? Now, I'm going to put leaves on this, but I'm not going to cover it in leaves. We've got autumn colours in that background, so I think I'm going to put autumn colours in the leaves, but not too many of them. And for that, I need, where are you? A tiny little round detail. Well, it's not tiny, it's small. Maybe a small one. Maybe this one. Yeah, this one will do. Let's get rid of all this brown first. And maybe it would be a good idea at this point to just give the palette a wipe so we're not getting all those muddy colours. You know, nice clean autumn colours for our leaves. Yeah, that'll do for now. I'll clean the palette properly when I've finished. Oh, I'm running out of tissue. I can use the blue roll if I need to. Right, autumn colours. Let's start with deep red. So we'll use the alizarin crimson. And maybe we'll need some thinner, so a little stick. That's a little bit of the cadmium red to that too. Just slightly crimson. Into umber. Just to give me a difference of colour. Like the brush off so I don't got too much. Lowered it. There we are. Like I said, I don't want to overdo it with the leaves on this. I want branches just to be visible because if it's autumn it's lost some of the leaves. So we'll have to put some of these down here, I guess. Oh, I'm picking up that brown there. Oh, cold. And there she goes again, wrecking the place. That's it. I'll try not to do that again. See, this is the limitations of a small bedroom. Or a bedroom with a lot of furniture. Well, I've got a camera over the palette and then the other camera is just in front of the palette because I can't get the canvas in otherwise. I'm going to really struggle on my next video because all the canvases I've got left are bigger. I don't think I'm quite brave enough to stand in the back garden talking to myself to amuse the neighbours. I know these just look like dogs at the moment, but we are putting more colours in. It will look a little more coherent, I promise. She says. What does she know? Let's add some cadmium yellow to that. Add some more oil. Load that brush. Avoid both cameras. And start again. That's where my floor moved and I wobbled. Yeah, I don't know who it was that was moving around downstairs earlier, but when I went to make my coffee there was nobody around, so whoever it was went back to bed. Lazy buggers. And as you can tell, we're not going for anything resembling realism here. We're just having fun. Blobbing bits of paint on a piece of canvas, or on a stretch canvas. It's a piece of canvas stretched over a frame. And again, it's only a cheap canvas. I can't afford expensive. I don't think my talent's quite up there to justify expensive canvases, to be fair. I mean, yeah, I have fun. And paintings sometimes look like what they're supposed to look like. But can't justify the cost of expensive canvases. I haven't been putting my colours in the... Oh, poo. I'll have to do that in a minute. Looking camera again. Do you know, I'm not very good, am I? The audio's never perfect. The paintings are far from perfect, except that they are perfect because it's been fun. So whatever I end up with, it's perfect. It's very time consuming, this dibby-dabbing with colour. I've just got a right blotch there. I have to cover it with this a different blotch. And that's blotchy enough. Right, let's remember to put this one around the base of the tree, just in little spots. And let's have a couple of these falling in the water. You can't see that. Like got a couple of these in the water. Right, start again with the blues and crimson and red. And we had to touch of burnt umber in that, didn't we? Just to put a couple of the darker leaves around. Very unusual tree, this. Most trees only turn one colour in colour in autumn. But as this is our only big tree, we're just throwing all the colours at it. Some of these. Slightly different coloured ones. Doesn't have to be perfect, it just leads to into the fact that the tree's losing leaves. And back up top, because we're going to make some other colour. Some more leaves. Lemon yellow. Lots of lemon yellow. Stitch these around, and then I think we're going to call this one done because I don't think it's done too bad. don't want too much of this yellow, I just want it to be a highlight. Oh, do you know what I might do? Catch up. There's going to be all kinds of paint on the back of that camera when I finish. You caught it again. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, what I might do while I'm on a roll. Things we're trying that you don't usually try that I'm not very good at. Let's have a play with that liner brush. Just for fun. Nothing invested in this. I just want to see if I can make it work for a change. So I'll start with this dark colour. And a touch of that to it. That'll do. Just around the tree. Don't seem to have much paint on though. I don't seem to be leaving anything on there. Oh boy. Oh, you can't even see it. I didn't move the camera, did I? Dipstick. Not that you can see much because that's such a dark colour, so we'll go to a lighter colour and have another go. Ready, go. Is that showing up? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe need to be a bit more yellow. Let's have a go. Still not convinced that's even showing up. Oh, two of them did. Right. I'm just throwing colours at it at this point because, to be perfectly honest, I'm just amazed that anything's showing up. Just very dark in that corner. Maybe we'll just go with some straight lemon yellow. And the problem is this tip of the brush is picking up what's underneath, so then we're not getting anything. I think we're coming to the point where we really are going to have to call it done. Admit defeat. Try again another day. I've got a gap. Ain't no one a gap. Ain't no one a gap. What's the gap all about? Don't me a gap. I don't want a gap. Still ended up with a funky bee, but do you know what? I'm calling it done. Let's just see, I'm going to try and get this in the out of the... There we go. Step back a bit so you can get the whole thing. And I hope you've enjoyed that as much as I have, even though it might not have sounded like I was enjoying it at some points, but I really was. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!